We have so many beautiful provinces and territories in Canada, and each one brings a different flavor to the mix. Trying to decide where to go next. If you're looking for history, coastal vibes, seafood galore, and wild scenery, Nova Scotia is your girl, and we take you to the action. Nova Scotia is one of the smallest provinces, but it packs so much into one tiny package. Plus, it has some of the nicest and friendliest people on the planet. Plan an epic trip down east, and add these things to do in Nova Scotia to your bucket list. So here is the list of the 12 best things to do in Nova Scotia, Canada. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the latest upcoming travel videos. Here we go. Number 1. Cabot Trail, Nova Scotia. No Nova Scotia itinerary is complete without at least a little road trip, and there is no place better than Cape Breton. One of the island's greatest treasures is the Cabot Trail, a 186-mile stretch of highway that hugs the Highland coast on the northeastern tip of the island. Part of the highway goes through Cape Breton Highlands National Park. The perfect road trip through Cape Breton will take about 3 to 4 days, stopping along the way to enjoy traditional Celtic music, delicious seafood, incredible hiking and beach opportunities, and warm-hearted hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the views? Hike the Skyline Trail at sunset, and you will understand why the Cabot Trail is rated one of the top things to do in Nova Scotia. Number 2. Peggys Cove, Nova Scotia. About 43 kilometers southwest of Halifax, the fishing village of Peggys Cove has a back-in-time feel. Peggy's Point Lighthouse, one of Canada's most photographed lighthouses, sits on the foggy Atlantic coast marking a perilous point. Stark, wave-battered granite bluffs surround the lighthouse, and tourists should exercise extreme caution if exploring the rocky shoreline. Fishing wharves and boathouses line the shore of this active fishing community, and colorful heritage homes and art galleries line the winding road. This is an extremely popular day trip destination from Halifax, so be prepared for crowds of tourists, especially near the lighthouse. Number 3. Old Town Lunenburg. Where the fortress of Lewisburg brings you back to an 18th century French harbor town, Old Town Lunenburg brings you back to the same period, but from the perspective of an English colony. Lunenburg is the best surviving planned British colonial town in North America, which earned it a UNESCO World Heritage Site designation. As you walk through the town, you'll see the masts of tall ships moored along the waterfront and streets lined with colorful wooden homes, and you will encounter tradesmen and artists making their wares in their shops and galleries. Take a seat in a horse-drawn carriage or take a guided tour and learn the history of the town and its residents, including the ghosts that legend says come back to haunt those who remain. Number 4. Fortress of Lewisburg National Historic Site. When you step inside the walls of the Fortress of Lewisburg, you're actually stepping back into the 1700s. This National Historic Site was one of the busiest harbors on the continent in the 18th century, acting as a key French site for trade and defense. Now you can experience it just as it was. You'll rub shoulders with French soldiers, sailors, servants, and children, all in character. You'll see food being cooked on an open fire, watch lace being made, and drink rum alongside fishermen who'll regale you with tales from the sea. Try not to jump when you hear the roar of the cannon. You can even learn to fire one yourself. This is definitely top-rated one of the best things to do in Nova Scotia. Number 5. Explore the Bay of Fundy. The Bay of Fundy is a large body of water located between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick in Canada. The bay is famous for its tides, which are some of the largest in the world. Every day, the water rises and falls by as much as 16 feet, 5 meters, with the highest reaching a whopping 53 feet, 16 meters, creating a constantly changing landscape. The tides also create a unique habitat for plant and animal life. For example, the bay is home to the world's largest population of wild Atlantic salmon. Visitors to the Bay of Fundy can enjoy activities such as hiking, kayaking, and whale watching. They can also learn about the area's history and culture at one of the many museums and historic sites. With its dramatic tides and rich variety of experiences, the Bay of Fundy is a must-see destination for anyone visiting Nova Scotia. Number 6. Kejimkujik National Park. Kejimkujik National Park is located in Nova Scotia, Canada. The park is known for its many hiking trails, which wind through forests and along loch shores. In addition, the park is home to a variety of wildlife, including beavers, black bears, and white-tailed deer. Kejimkujik is also home to the world's largest collection of petroglyphs images that have been carved into rocks. These petroglyphs, there are 500 of them, are a testament to the park's rich history, and they provide visitors with a unique glimpse into the past. Number 7. Bluenose 2, Nova Scotia. In 1921, a ship known as the Bluenose launched from the shores of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. That ship would become a racing champion, going undefeated for 17 years and cementing its place as a Canadian icon. The legend of the Bluenose is as important to the province as ever, and the history is carried on through the Bluenose too. This exact replica of the original ship has sailed around the world, but spends most of its time welcoming visitors to the waters of Nova Scotia and promoting its maritime heritage. Walk onto the deck of the 143-foot schooner, feel the wind blowing through your hair and its sails, and go for a ride you won't forget. Number 8. Kayak to the Three Sisters. Kayaking to the Three Sisters tops our list of adventures in Nova Scotia. The Three Sisters are magnificent rock formations standing proudly in the Bay of Fundy that can be seen by land and sea. Local Mi'kmaq legend says that the god Glooskap turned his three sisters into stone, and they have been standing guard ever since, waiting for his return. Having the opportunity to kayak out to Seal Cove out to the Three Sisters at both high and low tides is the ultimate Nova Scotia bucket list adventure. The tides change dramatically, allowing you the chance to kayak through sea arches 1 minute, and then the next walking right inside the sea caves. Number 9. Port Royal National Historic Site. Port Royal National Historic Site in the Annapolis Valley is where, in 1605, Sieur de Monts founded one of the first permanent settlements in North America and established a fur trading center. Though the British later destroyed the fort, it has now been rebuilt using authentic 17th century building techniques. The complex includes a governor's residence, a fur trading post, and priests' quarters, as well as a reproduction of the original quadrangle named the Habitation. Living history interpreters give insight into the settlers' struggle to survive, including how the native Mi'kmaq helped the Europeans through their first hard winters. Visitors can interact with the interpreters and ask questions, and there is also a special hands-on learning program for kids ages 6 to 11. Number 10. Halifax Waterfront Boardwalk. The capital of Nova Scotia, like most of the province's big destinations, sits right on the water. In Halifax, that waterfront is home to one of the world's longest downtown boardwalks. The 3-kilometer Halifax Waterfront Boardwalk is home to cultural and historical experiences, like the Canadian Museum of Immigration at Pier 21 and the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic. It's also home to lots of little shops and boutiques, and to some of the best eats in Halifax, fresh fish and chips, anyone. On a trip down the boardwalk, you might see and hear bagpipers and street performers, or find a deep-sea fishing tour that piques your interest. Or maybe you'll take part in a beach volleyball game, and then cool down with an ice cream cornet. Every day brings something new. Number 11. The Skyline Trail, Nova Scotia. Few places beat the Skyline Trail when it comes to seeing the sunset in all its glory. Located in Cape Breton Highlands National Park, the trail is a relatively easy 8-kilometer round-trip hike that brings you into the boreal forest, through meadows, and up onto a cliff. It is there on that cliff that many people choose to watch the sunset over the Gulf of St. Lawrence and the Atlantic Ocean beyond. The scene is hard to describe, but let's just say that a good number of people choose the spot for their marriage proposals. Even if you're not there for the sunset, the hike is a great outdoor excursion, particularly if you enjoy wildlife viewing. You just might encounter eagles overhead, moose in the forest, and whales out in the water. Number 12. Ross Farm Museum, Nova Scotia. The Ross Farm Museum is a marvelous place to learn about early American farm life. Nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, the 150-year-old museum/farm grounds offer a beautiful setting for a day of exploration. Visitors can tour the historic farmhouse, barn, and outbuildings to see how early settlers lived and worked. The farm animals are also a big hit with kids, and there are plenty of opportunities to learn about old-fashioned farming techniques. In addition, the museum hosts a variety of special events throughout the year, making it a fantastic destination for groups of all ages. This is definitely top-rated one of the best things to do in Nova Scotia. The last word. So guys, this was the best list of things to do in Nova Scotia, Canada. Hope you will like it and appreciate it. People who come to this city are amazed by all of the awesome things there are to do and see. A summer vacation in Nova Scotia is like no other. It is one of the best road trip destinations in the world with so many things to see and adventures to be had. We've had the pleasure of traveling all of Nova Scotia from north to south and everywhere in between. From our several visits to the East Coast, we've compiled the ultimate list of things to do in Nova Scotia to help you plan your trip. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for latest upcoming travel videos. Bye bye, see you in the next video.